As of 2025, there are hundreds of different LEGO themes. Some of these themes seemingly have eternal staying power, such as City, Star Wars, Marvel, Ninjago, Friends, etc. Others have been more inconsistent throughout the years, like Indiana Jones, Exo Force, Power Miners. And then there are some odd LEGO themes that came and went, faded if you will, into the LEGO culture ether. And I call those one-off themes, the themes that had just one single wave. And in today's video, I present to you my picks for the top 10 one-off LEGO themes. Now you might be wondering, Brickologist, what exactly do you mean by a one-off theme? I'll try to explain it as best I can. Essentially, these are LEGO themes that had one single full wave. Some of these have had little random things sprinkled here and there, but for the most part, the entire theme was just one wave released at once. And then that was it. Capiche. Nothing more for this theme. It was cancelled abruptly. That's what I qualify as a one-off LEGO theme, and I'll explain their brief stints in the LEGO sphere in the video. I hope that makes sense. Now let's dive into the countdown. Number 10, LEGO Speed Racer. Raise your hand if you enjoyed the Wachowski siblings adaptation of Speed Racer in 2008. I'm currently raising my hand behind the microphone because I think this movie is so much fun. It's completely and utterly ridiculous, one of the most overly stylized pieces of cinema I've ever watched, but something about it I just find magnetic. However, critics did not agree. Audiences seemed a little bit more lukewarm on the film than me, and the LEGO theme had 4 sets in the summer of 2008, and that was it. Frankly, I'm kind of shocked LEGO even decided to make Speed Racer sets at this time, almost 20 years ago. I don't feel like there was that much hype for this movie, and during the 2000s, LEGO was a lot more focused on original IP than adapting sources. It was an odd decision by the LEGO group to say the least, and it definitely did not pan out, but the sets themselves, especially for being 17 years old now, look really solid if you ask me. There's some great shaping for these race cars. The minifigures were pretty good too, the colors were great, all the builds were nice, the sets were relatively affordable. This is a cool one-off theme, and despite only having 4 sets, it definitely made an impact on me. So ultimately, I think you have an underrated movie with underrated LEGO sets, and it's too bad it all failed because we got nothing more from LEGO Speed Racer. Number 9, LEGO Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now some of you might be like, wait, hold up, this is only number 9? How is it so low? Well, let me explain. The LEGO Avatar sets are sets, plural, as in 2. There are literally just 2 of them released in 2006. I actually made an entire video essay last year, around the time the Netflix Avatar show debuted, explaining exactly what happened with this licensed theme. Go check out that video to learn more about it, but we only got 2 LEGO Avatar sets in 2006, and both sets are bangers. I think they look fantastic, especially considering they're now almost 20 years old. But because there are only 2 sets, my personal love for this series, which in my opinion is the greatest animated show of all time, is only going to go so far. I just can't put a 2-set theme over 6 8-set themes like other entries in today's video. But it made the list because, well, I frickin' love Avatar, man. And LEGO, what are you doing? Why are you not remaking this? We all know you can. Everybody would eat it up. Just make new Avatar sets, please. Number 8 is our first unlicensed theme, Dino from 2012. I'll admit I have a personal bias towards this theme because in November of 2011, I got the big helicopter set from this line a bit early and reviewed it here on this channel. That video has over 200,000 views. It's the only such video I've ever gotten with over 200,000 total views, making it obviously the most viewed video on this channel. So I owe a lot of gratitude to the Dino 2012 line for really putting me on the map. That video made me a lot of money and brought a lot of people to this account. But I also believe that the Dino sets had their own value within their own merits because they introduced the new style of dinosaur molds LEGO is still using to this day in the Jurassic World sets. These are slightly more cartoony, heavily stylized big molds for dinosaurs, and I think they all looked great. As for the Dino sets themselves, they were, a bit by the numbers, but I think they worked for what they were, and the prices weren't too ridiculous. It's not one of the most iconic unlicensed LEGO themes ever, but this theme holds a special place in my heart and definitely did something for the future of LEGO as a brand. Number 7 is another dinosaur theme called Dino Attack from 2005. There's also an alternate version sold in Europe called Dino 2010, but because I'm an American, I'm going to be focusing on the Dino Attack sets. sets. And the reason these are higher than the Dino 2012 sets is simply because I think LEGO was a little bit more creative with the Dino Attack theme. This is essentially a post-apocalyptic world where mutant dinosaurs and humans are battling, and there was some cool stuff going on here. The dinosaur molds were huge. The T-Rex, for example, had glowing eyes with a light brick. That was super cool. And then the human vehicles had a dope color scheme that was mixing tan and dark red. That giant helicopter is one of the smoothest helicopter builds LEGO has ever done. This was just a very unique take on the LEGO dinosaur trope, probably my favorite LEGO dinosaur theme they've ever done outside of like the original Jurassic Park movie. I eat this stuff up, man, and I really want that helicopter. That's been a white whale set for me for now 20 years. Number 6, LEGO Prince of Persia from 2010. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time was Disney's attempt to make another Pirates of the Caribbean-esque franchise, and this is not the only time we'll talk about a failed Disney franchise in today's video, and LEGO, who had just recently signed a contract with Disney, decided to make this film into sets. And awesome sets they were. These Prince of Persia products are very unique. They look great. They introduced some cool new colors, some cool new pieces. The minifigures were fantastic as well. The animals were awesome. We got a LEGO camel and a LEGO ostrich for the first time ever. I mean, come on, man. And while I didn't hate the movie by any means, it was a pretty forgettable film, but these sets transcend the mediocre picture. LEGO Prince of Persia was dope. And it also gave us our first ever LEGO Jake Gyllenhaal, one of my personal favorite actors, so I kind of owe it credit for that as well. Kicking off the top 5, we have LEGO Aquaraiders from 2007. Now, LEGO has been known to do a lot of different underwater exploration sets, including within the confines of LEGO City very recently. Just a couple years after Aquaraiders, we also got LEGO Atlantis, which was a really cool underwater theme as well, but Atlantis had a more robust run. It was not a one-off theme. However, its precursor, Aquaraiders from 2007, was a one-off theme, and these sets are super cool. You have the classic submarine color scheme with some yellow there that looks great, and they're battling these gigantic, pretty stylized and interesting looking undersea monsters. The giant squid and of course the shark, which was humongous by the way, were definitely standouts to me. I also enjoyed the special edition shipwreck set and the big Aquaraiders base. It's one of the first giant LEGO sets I remember ever getting for Christmas and putting the whole thing together. So there's definitely a lot of nostalgia on my part here with this ranking being so high, but I also think Aquaraiders is one of the cooler undersea LEGO themes, and it was a one-off LEGO theme, making it eligible for this list, and I think it's perfect to kick off the top 5. Number 4, LEGO Scooby-Doo from 2015. Now, some of you might be like, well, Brickologist, there actually were some LEGO Dimensions Scooby-Doo sets, so technically this theme came back. Look, I'm not going to count that. I'm sorry, I think that's stupid. The Scooby-Doo theme itself was just one wave in the summer of 2015, so I'm counting it for this list. This was a big license for LEGO to get. A classic show like Scooby-Doo, which obviously has movies and other IP floating out there. Everybody loves Scooby-Doo. Everybody has engaged with Scooby-Doo to some extent, and I was really happy to get the Mystery Gang as LEGO figures. And all their figures looked pretty great if you ask me, and I thought the sets were really cool as well, especially that $30 Mystery Machine, man. That's an all-time great LEGO set. But even the smaller sets had their own charm. I loved all the villain monster characters. Those were super cool, especially with the way to reveal their secret identities. The big vampire castle set was dope as well. I mean, this Scooby-Doo license was great, and I don't understand why it only lasted one wave. I feel like it was fairly popular upon release. I could see LEGO Scooby-Doo returning at some point in the future. I loved these sets, and I hope to see maybe a big rendition of the Mystery Machine, kind of like the DeLorean or the Ecto-1. That would be very cool. Number 3, LEGO Pharaoh's Quest from 2011. Now, if you were part of the LEGO community in late 2010 moving into 2011, you might remember when LEGO dropped 2 big new unlicensed themes that winter. One was Pharaoh's Quest, the other one was Ninjago. And believe it or not, there was a debate in the community about which theme was better, and I was Team Pharaoh's Quest through and through, baby. I thought Pharaoh's Quest was going to be the next big thing from LEGO. It was essentially the return of LEGO Adventurers, and then it was a one-off theme. And now Ninjago is about to enter its 15th anniversary year. That's crazy. So, needless to say, I was pretty wrong about the longevity of Pharaoh's Quest back in 2010, 2011. However, the sets, I think, stand the test of time. These are essentially LEGO Adventurers sets with a fantastical twist. Similar to Aquaraiders, there were giant creature designs here, including a big cobra, a giant scorpion, and of course a sphinx. I loved all of that. The box design, also super cool, by the way. The minifigures were good, modern interpretations of Adventurers archetype characters. All of their vehicle builds were cool, and this whole theme was highlighted by that dope pyramid set, which I believe to this day is the last set to use an elevated custom molded baseplate piece. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's correct. Pharaoh's Quest was an awesome unlicensed theme, and I wish we got at least a couple more waves because I feel like there were more ideas they could have fleshed out here. But as it stands, these sets were great. Our penultimate entry today is number 2, LEGO Monster Fighters from 2012. I'm recording this video towards the end of September, so spooky season is right around the corner, and I think about LEGO Monster Fighters every single October. Even though these sets came out in like May of 2012, but whatever, that's besides the point. I love spooky monster stuff, and this is, I think, the best monster theme LEGO has ever done. They hit like all the highlights here. You get vampires, you get werewolves, you get mummies, you get the creature from the Black Lagoon. Frankenstein as well, with a really cool Frankenstein set. That one was especially nice. The builds for the monster stuff were suitably creepy. You got some weird kind of steampunky vehicles for our main hero characters, which were dope too. It was stylized, but in a good way, and all of this is highlighted by the haunted house set. Not that many of these one-off LEGO themes get a direct-to-consumer set, but they gave us one for this, the haunted house, which is one of the greatest LEGO sets of all time, and I personally voted it as the best spooky season set ever last year. LEGO Monster Fighters is classic now, y'all. I love this theme, and I heavily considered putting it at number 1, but it was beaten out by one single theme. And that theme is number 1, LEGO The Lone Ranger from 2013. Now, before I rave about these LEGO sets, I want to talk about the factors going against the Lone Ranger as a LEGO theme, because there were quite a few, to say the least. Number 1, the movie had controversy before even releasing because they cast Johnny Depp, a very famous Caucasian actor, to play the character of Tonto, who is Native American. I don't think I need to explain to anybody why it's offensive to cast a white guy to play a Native American character. That just made no sense. Number 2, the movie was a humongous box office bomb, similar to Prince of Persia, which was supposed to start a new Pirates of the Caribbean-esque franchise for Disney. They pumped a lot of cheddar into the Lone Ranger, and it just did not have any financial return whatsoever. And a lot of that is for number 3 because the movie was just pretty bad. I don't remember hating it when it came out in theaters, but the reviews are pretty abysmal. And finally, number 4, in hindsight, this looks even worse because the film's main star, Armie Hammer, is in some, let's just say, hot water. The controversy surrounding Armie Hammer is not appropriate for a LEGO themed channel, but just Google at your own risk. Viewer discretion advised. So the amount of mitigating factors that go against the LEGO Lone Ranger sets are exponential, which is a testament to how absolutely unreal these sets are. I think most LEGO fans, including myself, essentially view the LEGO Lone Ranger sets as just a random LEGO Western theme with, you know, licensed characters like Tonto and the Lone Ranger himself. If you ignore those character names, it's basically just a Western LEGO theme, and they hit every single hallmark that a LEGO Western theme should hit and made them all about as good as we've ever seen from them. You get a Western train, and it looks beautiful. You get this silver mine, one of the most unique LEGO playscale sets I've ever seen. You get a small Western town, those buildings look perfect. You get a stagecoach, which I think again is the best stagecoach LEGO has ever done. You get a teepee and a canoe for your Native American characters, that was sick. And finally, you get the blue coat figures, which were super cool, especially if you're a LEGO history buff. All of these sets were bangers. There was a great range in pricing. I think that's one of the best parts about this theme. None of the sets were super expensive, and all of them had tons of value and play value as well. This is legitimately one of my all-time favorite LEGO themes, and it's coming from a movie that just nobody cares about, that's riddled with controversy. And because of all that, I'm comfortable in saying LEGO The Lone Ranger is the greatest one-off LEGO theme ever made. And there you have it, y'all. That's my list. Please comment down below with your personal favorite one-off LEGO themes. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's video. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.